So now remember, the whole chart is like this. So this is chart 151, minor, major, half diminished, and I'll put pattern stacks with the string patterns shown, with the string pattern labels. What are the string patterns? Right up here. I don't know if you can see this easily. I'll just make it a little bigger if I can. Now we're back in the ear view. The string patterns are 3, 4, 5 for C. They're 6, 7 root for G. They're 2, 3, 4 for D. They're 5 and 6 for C. And they're 7 root 2 for E. And they have to be stacked just this way if this was in a P4 tuning way. When we put them into the actual fretboard, let's say going 3 to 3, we would have to bring these two strings over one. Okay, it's a little harder to do that in Airfin view. So you have to do that kind of imaginarily. Bring the 3 over here and the 7 over here, 1 fret. The string patterns are the very string patterns themselves. So this right here, this is the E string pattern. No matter what you do to that pattern, whether you bring it up a string, over a fret, or whatever, that pattern is still the E pattern if you keep it as 7 root 2. Now, of course, if you take 7 root 2, let's say C pattern 7 root 2 up here, and then you take it up a half step, that is going to be an E pattern, but for a C sharp, not for a C. Here's E pattern for a C, B, C, D. If you move it up a half step, it's going to be an E pattern for a C sharp. C, C sharp, D sharp. Okay, but when I talk about moving it around, I'm saying it's going to be here. Alright, and then if you go to the 4th of C, which is F, that same pattern would end up like here. But it's different because you got to be careful, because of course in the key of F, it would be E, F, G, but you wouldn't look at it. It wouldn't be a E pattern if you played E, F, G. Okay, it would become a 3, 4, 5, because F is the 4th of C. So I have to watch out for that when I'm telling you guys what's going on. I'm saying you can move this around. 7 root 2 is here. 7 root 2 is down here. It's up here. It can move around. And what I'm also saying is, in the pattern stack, let's say we're going to do a 3 to 3 here. Alright, so that would be down here, starting with 3, 4, 5. Alright, so the 7 root 2, according to the P4 tuning, would be something like, it would be here. But that's wrong. We have to move it up with the tuning work. That's what I'm saying. It's an entity in itself. It's like a building block in itself. It's not going to change. You can't change the brick. You can do what you want with the brick, but you can't change it. Okay, and the bricks are set up so that 7 root 2 always fits to 5, 6, and 5, 6 always fits to 2, 3, 4. And then when you start linking two of them together, so that 7 root 2 always interlocks with 2, 3, 4. So it's like intelligent bricks, but you can't change those individual bricks. So that's what it is. So in chart 151, we have the string shapes labeled here. And we have all this, the 7 modes: Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, and Aeolian, and I'll show you something. Let's look at this chart if we can. If I can get it over here. Come here, chart. This was the way that I originally had done this about 15 charts ago, and then I have this on chart 149. I put all 3 of the root, the 4th major, and the 5th major on the same P4 pattern stack because they have the same interval relationships. Why not put them on the same diagram? Same thing with the minors. They have the same interval relationships, and when you start warping these things over, you'll find the same shapes. So you can see in the other diagrams that I have about this, you'll see similarities. So this is the big alphabet soup diagram, but I understand it. So how can I show you this? Best show you this. For instance, with Dorian and Phrygian, we have this 4 going to 6-2, going to 4, 6-2. You see these 3 guys to the bar up here? You got the same thing happening, same shapes happening in Phrygian minor. Okay, we got 5, 7, 2, and then we end up with this block of 3 right here. And the same shape occurs up here in the Aeolian. So we have these same shapes occurring. Look at this little staircase here, okay? You got a 4th to this staircase up in the warp zone. That exists over here too. Here's a 4th to the staircase in minor. These are all 3 in minor. So where's that over here? It also exists over here. So we've got the same shapes repeating. Look at the D shape with the majors. Okay, so we want to look at a nice D shape C. So we're going to have the root. Here's our little D shape C, and you better believe it's in the D box right there. So this is your D box. Here's D to D with the modal circle just uncoiled, the modal circle rolled out. Here's your D tripentatonic banner. Here's the D box. So we have our little D shaped here. But guess what? If we look at the 4th as the leading note in a D shape, right here is our D shaped 4th. And additionally, if we look at the 5th as the leading note in a D shape, we have our D shaped 5th here. So why not put these patterns on the same diagram like this? Which is what I did here. So we have the same relationships. It's just arpeggios, and they're practically the same, even on piano. The only difference is when you start adding in the 4th and the 7th and the pentatonic notes perhaps, then you start to get the uniqueness of the modes. Okay, so that you can see, even though the root and the 5th sound the same when you're doing triads, when you're doing the 7ths, they don't sound the same. See, you have the dominant 7th there. They have that distinction, but in triads it's the same. So that's why I put them all in the same diagram. But guess what? The string shapes came out different, and because the string shapes weren't uniform across the diagram, I decided to make a new diagram that had all 6 of them drawn separately, so we can look at those string shapes and really see what's going on. So that's what diagramming, charting guitar is all about for me.